So I think our live is working now. Say hello when you hop on. If you replay, say hi for our replay. Let's tell people we're on. Okay. All right. Say hi. Okay. We're just inviting some of our people. Hi Ronnie, hi Ashley, how are you? Hi Chrissy. Hi Sarah. I like your new profile picture. It's cute. All right, we haven't done Magical Monday in here. It feels like forever. So May feels super fresh. April was weird. It was good. It was just weird. I was gone. It felt like half the month, really. And between the businesses and family and everything, it's been an interesting time. Hey, Danica. So I'm going to dive right into it. Hey, Megan. So I'm going to dive right in. I continually amaze myself how I'm able to come back to things and rather come back to center. I'm human. For my whole human life, I will be feeling emotions. Hi, I'm human, right? But I talk about this all the time. Our emotions are messengers. Our emotions are here to tell us something. What happens is we get stuck in these old stories and in these spirals, and we kind of lose our minds. Hey, Talisha. And I think part of the idea is to continually heal enough to heal more and more and more pieces so we can come back to center, so we can utilize the emotions as messengers and make the most of our life and why we're here and our existence, right? So that's really amazing. And it's absolutely because of EP. It's because of the expansion principle. I know everyone talks about their modality being the best modality, but the thing is, it's not really mine. I just am blessed to channel it. I'm blessed to connect with these energies, to have this relationship that I have, and that it's changed my life. There's a lot more to it. I know the backstory, I know the energetics of it all, and blah, 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 blah. But I'm still super honored and blessed. So the out of integrity part, the part that my freaking phone with all these notifications, I wish there was a way to not do notifications. One day I'm gonna have one of those fancy thingies that all it does is does Facebook Live, and I don't have to worry about getting all the things. Hi Michelle. Hey Becky. So we have all kinds of people coming to say hi to us. Hi Bernadette. It's been a while. We have a fly in here that was silent and is now hanging out. Anyway, yeah, so what to do when we feel out of integrity? I think all of us have moments when we do. And what that really means is when we're behaving in ways or perceiving our behaviors. Sometimes it's a combination of both, right? Hey, Michelle. I said Michelle, yeah? Oh, there's so many people. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to have you here listening to this because this is really important. And it's something actually that I'm just processing now. So I don't always do that because sometimes emotions are too raw and whatever. But anyway, here we go. So being out of integrity is when you're not matching up to what your values are and the standards you hold yourself and really your value system, right? You're not either behaving in that way or lined up in that way, or you're perceiving it. It depends. By just doing a really simple assessment, you know if it's a perception or if it's actually, if you're, hey, maybe not doing things the way you believe you should and what your value system tells you, right? And there can be reasons why and all of that, and that's great. But the first thing when we feel that, part of that out of integrity sensation would be like when you feel something's your fault, when you feel sometimes like guilt or shame or any of these things, and really looking at, okay, am I out of integrity? A lot of times we're not, right? For example, if you feel guilt or shame about how you, whatever, because sometimes we're actually, those sensations are coming up because we're judging ourselves or assessing ourselves based on the value system of others, right? Yes. Sometimes, you know what? I love you for saying that, Sarah. Sometimes being out of integrity is part of your process to return to alignment. I love that. That's really beautiful. Let's say it one more time. Sometimes being out of integrity is part of your process to return to alignment. I just love that. That was for my heart. Thank you. Hi, Yolanda. So, really looking at, are we assessing ourselves from the value system of others? And a lot of times we are. Check in and see, is that value system somebody else's? Yes. Does that line up with me? Do I agree with those things? Is that important to me? Do I hold those same beliefs? Is that system I appear myself to be assessing myself to? Does that make sense? I don't know if that sentence made sense, but I think you guys know what I'm saying, right? And if it doesn't, then okay, I'm safe. That doesn't match up. Yes, I'm still in integrity. Somebody else, I'm thinking clothing for some reason. I kind of know why, because I've been judged for my clothing before, which is so ridiculous. Anybody who knows me in person knows how ridiculous it is. And you see how I dress. But anyway, like let's say somebody says, oh, you look like whatever, slutty, whatever word, right? And you can feel guilt or shame, but it's like, is that within, right? Just checking in. So that's that part. Then the other part is when we actually, our actions really are out of integrity, when we don't answer an email, when we don't follow through with things the way we want to. It could be anything. Answering a phone call the way we want. It really could be anything, right? And it doesn't line up. When our behavior really doesn't line up with our value system and the level of integrity that we hold ourselves to, it's really important to notice that. And to not shame ourselves, to value self-reflection. And, you can have a woe is me moment maybe for a moment, but really self-reflection and self-assessment isn't to be like, you're so bad, so-and-so, like, why did you do that to yourself, right? That doesn't do anything. What you want to do is, okay, this action is making me uncomfortable, or did, right? You call yourself out and stuff, but you can call yourself out with love. And say, okay, well, that doesn't line up with your value system. You did this and it wasn't okay. We're talking to ourselves, right? What was that about? What's deeper there? What's underneath that? What's something that you can do to rectify this so that it doesn't happen again? And what can you do about the situation that you're in particular to bring integrity back into your communication? So whether it's with clients, which because I've been out of pocket, that's where it is with me, and it's not okay. Like, that's really not okay for me. And being out of integrity also will put you in a state of stagnation and won't let things flow and move forward. So noticing that too. Hi, Alok. Nice to see you. So doing these things with kindness, like how you would to a child. Like, how would you talk to your child if they behave in ways that are outside of because with kids, we kind of are showing them our value system, and that's what gets kind of tricky, especially when you know how much you can mess up a kid. We give them our value system, and how would you interact with a child when you're showing them this is the value system our family follows, and when they're out of integrity of that, what would you do? Would you say, why'd you do that? Most of you would say no, that's not what you would choose. So doing the same with yourself, like just noticing, how can we make sure we line up again? How can we bring ourselves back? Hey, Helene, how can we bring ourselves back into integrity going forward in this arena, right? What sort of things need to shift? What needs to shift in the physical, right? Maybe systems or whatever. Hey, Nicole, I was just thinking about you. What needs to shift? Oh, because I was talking about kids and parenting. I want to do something about parenting because it's so fun, and I think my kids are old enough that I'm qualified to do it, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. whether it's in the physical with the systems or, all of that kind of stuff. And then looking at what you need to do in the particular situation you're in, kind of to make amends, right? You want to call yourself out and be really honest. I mean, I think that that's super important. A lot of times when we act a certain way and like when people get upset, and it's really because we are supposed to be our biggest cheerleader, but also ignoring the fact that we've done something that's out of alignment with who we are. It doesn't help anybody. It hurts us really. Hey, Ellie. And there's nothing wrong with screwing up. We screw up all the time. Hopefully we don't screw up in the same way continually. And if we do, we need to look at that. And look at what the underlying stuff is. Because, sometimes we do things that we screw up and there's a reason. And we're continually doing something, especially when it's a certain area. You want to look at that and start either, whether you journal or self-reflection or working with somebody or whatever it is you do. If it's in the same area, something's going on. Like if it's in a relationship, if it's in business, if it's whatever, what is the underlying factor? Why are you continually doing things that are outside of your value system? Either your value system is skewed, which it may or may not be, right? In my case, it's not. It's on point with who I am in my essence as a human being and as a spiritual being. So, oh gosh, did I lose it? It was coming through and then I lost it because my mind was in the kid conversation. Being in integrity, la 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 la. Would you like to come back? In any case, self-assessment and being aware, being clear with what your value system is and that your actions, I remember now, that your actions are lining up with it. And when there's that continual thing, you want to look at what that's about. And I'm going to be really vulnerable right now, and I'm just going to put it out there. One of the things that kind of gets in my way that causes stagnation and creates trepidation sometimes in my own field and within my own life is a fear of success. Sometimes people are afraid of failing. And I think maybe at some point in some life, but that's not really a big thing for me. Business wise, like sometimes I fail. Sometimes I put programs out and nobody goes in them. This is the thing. In general, I'm incredibly successful, but that doesn't mean that I don't have things that would fail, right? I don't even think it's like, okay, next. And that's the point that I'm at. And as a business note, if you need to hear that, just keep going, by the way. People, we screw up. We don't always make the right decisions. Things don't always go the way we want, but you keep moving forward. It just is the way it is. Like next, it really needs to be that way. But that fear of success can be something that's really profound. Look at somebody in relationships maybe that you keep like shaking the foundation and you don't allow yourself fear of love, right? Fear of being desired, fear of being held, fear of we can be afraid of the good things that we think that we want, that is our greatest heart's desire. Like we can totally, be in a state where we're afraid of that thing. And what happens when we're afraid of the thing that we want most is that we create this duplicity of energy. We can't have both things at the same time. While a lot of things are and aren't, right? When we get into weird quantum physics and all this stuff, when it comes into a situation coming into the physical, when a desire that we have, when we want to bring that into the physical and actually manifest it, and we want two different things that are diametrically opposed to each other, they can't come into being, right? And so all of this to say, follow your behaviors and actions to show the underlying steps of things that may be holding you back. For me, this is something, perhaps publicly saying it, I can just be done with it once and for all. One of the things that really got in my way last year, at some point I'll talk about the whole fiasco that was 2018, that was garbage. But anyway, there was good things too, I'll say that. Is when we know too much, when we're psychic, when we have all these other really powerful clairvoyants and psychics and people and blah, 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 blah. And like when you're tuned into your mission, everybody says, I want to know my purpose. I want to know my purpose, which I totally understand and get. And I really honor that. And I know how important it is. By the way, purpose often is sensation. It's not, we think about, oh, my purpose is to be a doctor. No, it's not. It's why do you want to do that thing, right? Why are you attracted to that thing? But that's neither here nor there. What I want to say is, I have no idea now. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, these are so funny when I get going. Yeah, so the diametrically opposed thing, the things that are totally opposite, and then bringing them forward and noticing what they are. Being really aware of what's coming in the future can be really scary sometimes. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I love you too. You know what's so funny? You say that, and I think about how there's all of these hysterical things out there. Not hysterical. I said hysterical because I saw Megan put a little laugh thing. There's all these, be a successful business person. Follow this thing. Follow that thing. I should have a program that's like all the things, like who cares? Like you can, oh, my mom watches my live stream. She's like, you're very casual when you speak to people. It's like, because I'm talking to people like they're in my house, right? Anyway, side note. Looking at the piece, that underlying fear, and like, what do I need to do to help that? And part of it is just sometimes when we get so clear that we can see it in its face, it's just like a carcass left. Like my fear of success, all that's left at this point is a carcass. It really is. And it just needs to go away because I'm done, because I'm stepping up, because it's just the way it has to be. So anyway, I absolutely love the statement that Sarah said. We need to say it again for people who just popped on with us. Sometimes being out of integrity is part of your process to return to alignment. That statement is gold. It's so amazing. I just love it so much because it's absolutely true. And in this case, it's really helped me to see that that's what it is. So sometimes not answering phone calls or not showing up in the way that I could, or feeling resistance to doing the things that I really desire to do. A lot of business people will say, well, if you're not feeling like doing the things that will make your business successful, then there might be something wrong. Or like that maybe that's not the thing or whatever. For me, that's not the case. For me, it's this ridiculous carcass that we're putting to bed now. We can go put it on the pyres and like with Game of Thrones. But in any case, and the same with love. Like when you get to the point where you notice, maybe this is because somebody on here has this, this fear of being loved fully, and you can look at it in the face and say, I see it all now. I know why I do that. Or fear, another one, fear of being a bad mother. Like all of these things that we have, they vibrate, and the vibrations bring things, and vibrations don't always match the way we think we do. So here's the thing. Like, let's say I am going to use this. I'm just kind of nervous about using this, but I'm going to use it. Like, let's say someone's afraid of being a bad mother, and that fear of being a bad mother can do one of two things, because we experience things as polarities, to one opposite ends, right? Or we want to aim for the middle, a little bit of both, right? Not both, but you guys get what I'm saying. So if you're afraid of being a bad mother, what happens is that there's this vibration. One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to be an amazing mother because that fear propels you to amazing, wonderful behaviors and constantly, right? Or that vibration, that's one polarity. The other is that you match it. That fear of being a bad mother means that you are making choices that match being a bad mother. So looking at these things and really like fully embracing them, like, and allowing them to just fall away. Like, what do I need to do to allow this to just fall away? Yeah, Sarah says, fear of being fully loved. Yes, I had that. Maybe still working on that, but I've come a long way. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I've come a long way too, and that's the point. Like, and we need more moments where we just say, yay, you're amazing. Yay, you for doing the work. Because you know how many people in this world don't do that? They don't have very much. They don't self-reflect. They don't know how. But we know how. So we get to do that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I think I spoke to that. So absolutely. Like when you know too much, it creates that fear of success. Like, I know what's possible really clearly. I've seen it. I've seen 50 years out. That's scary. It's scary for a lot of reasons. I think the responsibility of it. I think there's also like, what if I'm crazy? I think there's also, just the pressure of creating that, because we always have free will and I could fuck it up. And when I came to this earth just wanting to do whatever it is that I was here to do. So it wasn't just like, oh, I want to help people, because there was certainly that. It wasn't just, oh, I want, it wasn't, or just want to be a healer or a medicine woman or whatever. It was like, I want to fulfill why I'm here. Like, that was the drive. Absolutely. And so, knowing too much sometimes can be knowing too much. It's amazing, but it's also like, yeah, so I've done when you do structured, which I know how to do, and I teach that, by the way. I don't talk enough about all the things that I teach, but anyway, there's a lot of reasons for that, because not everybody's ready for the things. Anyway, usually 5 to 10 years is what is recommended, because if you go too far out, you start mind effing yourself, and it's just too much information. I know different people teach it differently, but that's how I was taught, and it makes a lot of sense to me. So when I'm, structurally going in and desiring to interact, 5 to 10 years. But that's interesting, because you can get a lot of info, and it's different. This was actually like it was different. And there was things that I'd never even thought of that have come through. And some of it I've been able to just put away, because it just is what it is. And I know that if that's going to happen, the pieces will come together for it. Okay, Megan is saying, my issue is I can't seem to see what I want or am supposed to do, so I keep getting stuck. But I have the same drive wanting to fulfill whatever it is I am here to do. Yeah. Do you want me to speak to that? Because I will. I've enjoyed watching you, actually. I think we met maybe about a year ago or so, right? Maybe less than that. Feels that time is so weird. Especially lately, time is bizarre. But anyway. EP hasn't even been out a whole year. It's so crazy. By the way, we're doing expansion principle training. We're starting officially this week. The first attunement is next week. So if you're wanting to get in on that, you need to do that now. Like, I know that people wait and all that, but there's a payment plan. You can start at the $288. There's an add-on for the medical intuitive program. I'm going to keep talking, by the way. I just want to put this in here because it's important. If you feel that you know it, I was talking to one of my students this morning, and she said, she was talking about EP, and she's like, well, everyone needs to get attuned. And she starts laughing. She's like, I know that's just my opinion, but I do. Whether or not people use it for anything, they need to do it just for themselves. And I totally agree, because I've watched all of my students' lives transform magically and beautifully. Not all of them have been able to notice why, right? But that's okay. I don't need them to. Again, because it's not me. It's this energy that comes through. Anyway, it changes your life. And I think that that's part of why time's so weird. Okay. Yes, we did meet through Lindsay. Okay. Oh, Danica says she agrees. Yeah. And truly, like, your structure's changing. So one of the things that's really interesting about EP is that, so with a lot of other healing modalities, like energy healing modalities, like Reiki or whatever, different kinds of things, what happens is that you become a channel and you learn how to have it pass through you, right? Oh, yay. Are you gonna do it, Nicole? With EP, what's happening? Okay, so one of the interesting things that happens right after the first attunement, so there's 4 attunements within level 1, right? And we're having an advanced practitioner, this is the secret, advanced practitioner training for those of you who are at a different level. Yay, Nicole! Who's gonna come join Nicole? So if you're more advanced practitioner and it's like, oh, I don't know, we're gonna do level 1 and 2 together. So if you're like in that category, reach out to me, let's chat. But in any case, so this is level 1. There's 4 attunements over the course of 4 months for level 1. And after the first attunement and they start practicing a little bit, it's like, am I doing it? It feels really easy. So the attunement itself is incredibly powerful, and they can feel the shift, right? So when we first attune a person, and then shortly thereafter, they're like, why does it feel so easy? What's happening is your structure is changing to match that attunement, your entire structure. So there's less of a contrast when you're doing the energy work. It's really wild and super cool. And we actually, because you're activating yourself, because your DNA is changing, because you're healing on these levels, because your structure is changing in this way, you have greater access to it. A colleague of mine was talking about, so attunement was the cloak thing. So Nicole asked me earlier what an attunement was. And essentially, I don't know why I have such difficulty describing attunement. Maybe because it's energy. But essentially, what's a really, really good... Like, let's say if I had a cloak, right? And it was a biofilm cloak. It was one that was able to become one with your skin, one with your being, right? And we put this cloak on you. And now it intermingles and it becomes part of your skin. It becomes part of who you are. So this cloak is no longer this separate cloak you take on and off. It becomes a part of you. Does that make sense? Because that's what an attunement is. Well, EP attunements are like that. An attunement in general is meaning tune to. So like how you tune a piano and you oh yes, I got it. So when you tune a piano, you take a ooh, our dinner smells good. I have the best husband. So you take the thingy, the tuner thingy, right? And you have to have a person who knows what they're doing. That's important to note. And they tune the piano. They use the machine that has the notes and they tune the piano to it. So it matches it to each other. Does that make sense? Oh, good. Yay! So what else were we saying? Oh, we were going to go back to Megan, I think. But I just wanted to tell you guys. So you can do full pay and we have bonuses and all kinds of fun stuff for that. And then we're also, for anyone who needs a payment plan or would prefer one, you can start at $288 a month. And if I do typically take one person on that, so if you reach out, if you're interested, reach out. Let's say that. Okay. What else? My back's hurting. I hurt my back when I was gardening yesterday, and sitting in this position is not comfortable anymore. Okay. So, Kathy, you don't have the link, do you? I need to give you the links for the programs. I'm going to drop the links, but just message me, honestly. Like, this is my personal page, but it's totally fine. Just send me a message and tell me you're interested. And so, one other thing before I get to Megan that I want to talk about. One of the most common things with the expansion principle is people saying, I want that, I don't know what it is. And so our human mind says, girl or dude, how can you possibly want something you don't even know what it is? That's your mind. Ask your mind to kindly sit in the corner and message Alexis so that she can talk to you. And like my student said this morning, everyone needs to be attuned to this. Why? Because, and I have several students that have experienced this, and it's just, they know, they can feel what's happened and the changes that have occurred. In any case, all right, let's speak to Megan. Okay, so this is for Megan, but this is a little bit for everybody. Megan is saying that her issue is she can't seem to see what I want, she says. So what she wants or what she's supposed to do, so she keeps getting stuck. But she has that same drive that I was talking about, wanting to fulfill whatever it is she's here to do. So what I would say, Megan, is that there's still a little bit of lingering responsibility from family, like supposed to do things the way they say, that pulls you back and sometimes like puts a shroud over your eyes and not able to see. I think also realizing the depth of your potential is incredibly important. I think you hold yourself back. There's a couple of you on here, by the way, that hold yourself back because you're like, who am I to do that? That's not me. I can't do that. And the issue is that you see a calling that's like 7 steps from where you are right now. And there's like at least 4 of you that this pertains to. And you feel it. And you can feel it. And you're like, yeah, But no, that can't be me because it's too far ahead. So you get in your head about not being qualified, or that not being, that's somebody else, or like thinking that certain words or terms or callings have to all look the same, right? And they don't. They don't at all. I'm actually thinking that I want to tell you about Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, which I loved, by the way. I think that was like in the 90s, early 90s maybe. So most doctors at that time were not women, and she was a woman, right? So it was easy for her as a girl to say, oh, I really want to be a doctor, but that doesn't match. Like, I'm not a man. I don't know these things. I don't need to do that, right? But she didn't. She became, obviously this is a fictional character, but there's actually real people, right? A lot of doctors weren't, I don't know, even know why I'm giving this example. Anyway, but I am. Maybe this pertains to somebody. But that's the thing. Sometimes, especially when we don't trust ourselves. So had I been able to see what I saw for myself like 5 or 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. It would have been too much. And it would have just been, I can't be, what are you talking about? I'm not that thing, whatever. And I do come from a different background. But anyway, but because I'm where I am, I don't worry about that anymore. Like, I don't need to worry about how that's going to happen, because if it's supposed to happen, then it'll happen and I'll be given each step. I hope that helps. Let me scroll to see. So that makes sense, right, Megan? I think you're saying, oh my God, for sure, the family stuff. Let me know what you think about the rest of it. Nicole, for sure. I love that you called yourself out. There's a couple of you on here. And honestly, I'm finding that each iteration of EP is different, but this one really feels like it's for those of you like, that's not me. So it's really fun speaking to you and getting this to you, because you're over here like, that's not for me. But your heart's going, yes, 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 right? Yes, Danica. It's the funniest thing. But the thing is, there comes a point, can I call you out a little bit, Danica? Danica feels that way in her heart, but she keeps doing these stuff. Yes, Sarah's, I love that you people are calling yourselves out. I love you. See, because I called myself out. So Danica is following it and doing these pieces, even though she can't fully see and she can't fully claim who she's becoming, in terms of like, to say, yes, absolutely, I'm going to be that amazing. She isn't in that space to say that, right? But she keeps saying yes to these little pieces. She keeps saying, okay, yeah, and ignoring the part that she's rejecting because she knows it feels. So part of it is a fear of success changes your life. Our human being doesn't like anything that changes from where we are. Baseline, our human is responsible for constantly bringing us to homeostasis, to baseline. My transformation line is so strong today. So in Chinese medicine, this line right here is a transformation line, and it is so strong right now. Yeah, exactly. It seems illogical, but our human being says it's perfectly logical, because it changes too much, because reality will change. Success means a lot of things. Your life, here's the thing. When we pretend, it's like you asking someone, if you win the lottery, would you still have your job? Sure. Unlikely, right? It's unlikely. And this is totally different, because we're talking about career success. We're not just talking about money dropping in somebody's lap and in their bank account, and then, because it's different. The success is coming from your career success. That means, without a doubt, that your actions are different, because you can't have the level of success that our energetic field knows that we're meant to create, right? We still have free will, but that level, right? Our energetic field, whether or not our mind is aware, our energetic field knows, our heart knows, our soul knows. And the human's like, nope. And that's where the fear of success comes from. The human saying, nope. And, it's saying, I'm okay. It's okay if it changes. It's all right, because you probably won't have the same house. You probably won't be doing the same things day to day. You probably won't, like, all of these things that will change. You can pretend like they won't, but they will. And that's something I had to look at in my own life. You know, that's why some people within manifestation say act as if, because the truth of the matter is that things will change. And so that is absolutely what that fear of success looks like and is about. So how does someone get past the paralysis with those feelings? Hi, Sherry. When you see that vision of what you want 7 steps away, what can I do right now? What's one small step I can do right now? Sometimes let's take a breath, right? Yeah, what's something I can do right now? Honestly, 7 steps future, that's none of your business. Because at the end of the day, number 1, you have free will. Number 2, especially with what you and I are talking about, Megan, and I think a lot of you, especially those of you that are within this energetic field that we're talking about, when you're here and you want to complete and do and live up to everything you were here to do, who dictated that? That was you. That was your soul. Whether you think that, whatever you believe, whether God was involved or you were involved or the angels or whatever you believe, your soul made that decision too, right? And so because of that, it's not the human being's responsibility or business what that vision is. It's just, yes, I surrender to it. Am I safe? Is this for the highest? I surrender to it. What's the next step I can take? And that's where, like, little things, just knowing what is the thing that can help me shift this. And I will say, they're very likely. And the expansion principle, I mean, and it is what it is. This changes people's lives, period. And I have several students on here that will attest to that. It shifts everything in your being. Yes, you still then have free will, but the big thing is you had your free will when you decided to become attuned and move forward. And your structure changes, the way you think changes, your ability to come back to center changes, like everything changes. My ability to have something occur and have this call out of, hey, you need to rectify a few things. This was not cool. This is not within what you believe. This is not within your value system. Have a moment, journal a little bit, come back to myself, and we're okay, because that's not who I am, and I'm making choices to move forward. I don't need to live in this story nonsense. And that's because of the expansion principle. Okay, 8 is the current magic number lately. 8 is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I love you all. Let's do a quickie healing transmission, and then I will say goodbye to go hang out with my husband. Reach out to me if you want to move forward. If you feel it, I highly suggest you at least have a conversation with me. Okay, I don't bite. Take a nice deep breath. If you want to participate in the transmission, stay on. If not, hop off. Imagine a beautiful golden light above your head. Gently coming down over the top of your head, down your face, down the back of your head, down your neck and your throat, across your shoulders and your arms and your hands, down your chest and your back, down each and every vertebrae, down your abdomen, your pelvis, your sacrum, your low back, your hips, your butt, down your upper legs, your knees, lower legs, ankles, and feet. Nice deep breath. This beautiful golden light is soaking into each and every cell of your body. It's allowing for anything that no longer serves you to gently fall away. It's making space for clarity and reunion of self. Nice deep breath. For recognition of purpose and action steps forward. When you're ready, open your eyes. All right, loves. I love you so much. I think it's so awesome that all of you stayed on for that. It makes me so happy. I deeply love you. The plan is to be on a lot more often over the next couple of days. reach out about EP. We also have, if you're not really at a stage where you're wanting to do the expansion principle, I also have a medical intuitive intensive, which is 11 weeks. You can do that as an add-on too if you're in that space and that's something that you want to do. Yeah. You're so welcome, Helene. All right. I love you. I will see you later. Bye. I look forward to talking to you guys.